That was so smooth of a stop. Good morning, everyone. Oh, how are you guys doing? Happy Monday. I know you're not normally used to seeing me on Mondays, so I'm pretty excited to be here. And I wanted to ask you guys a funny little off-topic question while we're getting everybody on. What is y'all's feeling on tie-dye? I wear a lot of tie-dye lately. I'm not really sure why. I feel like it just got popular again. But my little brother was here and he told me it looked like someone threw up on my shirt. So I'm just curious, he's 23 though, so I don't know what the heck's going on with his style either. We could go back and forth all day. But I'm seeing tie-dye like everywhere now. And I tie-dyed my own pants. Okay. It's not what we're here for today though. I'm excited. I have a lot of really good stuff to talk about today. I have some videos that I want to share that I found off of YouTube that have really helped. Amy, she says it's an acquired taste. I agree. I definitely agree with that. I have some things that I want to share that I found off of YouTube from another network marketing trainer. So some things I'm going to talk about today because I just got some really good ideas from her. I personally love these chapters. I know I say it a lot in here. And I find not just with the business aspect, but also with social media, I can say it till I'm blue in the face, what you do and what you don't do duplicates with your team, 110%. I've found that for a long time that's for sure true in your business, right? Like you think about, even for this, for example, if you are showing up to Zooms and accountability meetings and things for your company and for your team's going to do that, right? But if you don't show up to things, like why do they feel the need to show up to things? So I think that's important to remember also on social media. Your team's watching you on social media. Like I think the most important part is we think, even as far as people who are not on your team, right? And this is why I always say, like, go back to your stories. Forget about how many people like your post initially, or how many people are on your live or any of that, right? Go right to your stories. Go look at how many people looked at your last story in the last 24 hours. Let's say it's 50 people, right? That's 50 watchers. That's all you have to think about is there's watchers in there. And I'm sure plenty of those people are on your team or people you're prospecting. So what you do duplicates. And, I've learned that the hard way and the easy way. But, she says in here, I think about this too. Could you imagine if your team did everything in business the way that you do it, or even in social media? And think about that for a second, because if that's a scary thought for you, then you probably need to change some of the things that you're doing, right? Because if you're not doing much and that would duplicate, that probably is duplicating. But think about if your team was doing all the things that you're doing, if you're doing your reach outs, you're hopping on accountability Zooms, you're going live, you're posting on social media, the growth that would happen if everybody on your team was doing those types of things right with you, right? All of the things. And she talks about that in there more in a business aspect, but I was thinking about it so much on social media because, for example, some of us are doing no reach outs a day. Just saying. Some of us are doing 5, some of us are doing 10, some of us are doing as many as we possibly can until our fingers break off, right? Everybody's goals are different, but if you're not doing any reach outs at all, right, it doesn't duplicate. And I know there's a lot of people on our team in here, for example, and I will just give you, the momentum and excitement all the time. Like in our chat, we always shout out like when something good goes on, right? So the chat is like nonstop, okay? But it's what duplicates. It immediately creates that like, oh, someone else just did something, I gotta go do too. It creates that for everyone, not just me, because I do it all the time. I'm excited, but it's duplicating. It's duplicating excitement, right? So here's an example. I love to go live. You guys know that. It's like one of my favorite things ever. Not a lot of people do. I get it. But I find that I get a lot more interaction even if it's like live in my stories or live on my page, whatever it might be. I find going live works better for me. And I was on a call the other day and was just sharing, some of the things that I do that work for me, right? And one of the women who just started my business, she's on today. She's like, you know what? I'm going to try going live. Y'all, the interaction that she got from this live video was insane. But on top of it, right, do you think that she would have been like, yeah, I'll go live if I told her, yeah, go live. I think it works. I don't really know. I've never tried it before, but go live. I think it works. Works for other people. What we find is what duplicates, right? And another perfect example is we have this big challenge going on in our team page, and Jess started it. And, you know, like I said, not a lot of people like to go live. Jess will be honest, it's not really something she likes to do, but she'll do it. Why? Because what you do duplicates, even if it's on social media. I'm not kidding you guys. Jess went live, and like 5 minutes later, I saw half of our team, all these people I'd never seen even go live before, go live. Heidi went live. I don't know if she's on here. She did a freaking great job. There were so many people going live that I hadn't seen go live in so long, but it's because what I find in network marketing plus social media together, so network marketers who work on social media, it's what duplicates, and it's what duplicates from our leaders. What we see them do, what we see working, we do. Now, she talks in here about a halfway rule, and about a halfway rule in your business. And this really spoke to me because I've shared this before, but we've been doing this business for about 5 years. And most of our business in the beginning of our business started in Michigan, right here in the Mitten. Oh, I'm wearing a Michigan shirt today, right here. And so we had a lot of in-person events going on, a lot. I mean, with hundreds of people. I remember one time we had a standing room only. Sometimes, right, I'll get like the little memories on my Facebook of some of those events, and I can look at the events. And as far as the people on my team, it is a halfway rule. Half the people are still in it with us. And then there's newer people, right? Because we've created newer prospects, brought newer people into our team. But then there are the people who have been like since the beginning. There's the halfway rule. And so when she said that, I was like, yeah, that's true. I totally agree with that. I think that's the same for social media though. There's going to be a halfway rule of people who are like the Instagram challenge that we're doing, the Grow Your Gram. I see that there was like a lot of people that started, some people that kind of gave up really early, some people that are still going, getting really good results. And then there's going to be the people that continue after the 30 days is over, and they're going to see that consistency growth with that. But I thought about it on social media because I know so many times people aren't getting the results that they want instantly. We are the most microwave society. It's in this book. I was like, Sydnee, don't recommend another book, but I can't help myself. It's called The Compound Effect, I believe, by, I want to say it's Darren Hardy, but someone correct me if I'm wrong. But he talks about the microwave effect of society, about how we just instant gratification. We want to put something in the microwave like popcorn, and we want it right now. And I understand that. Believe me, I love instant gratification. Who doesn't? But I think as far as social media goes, it is a consistency. It's going to take you time to grow, especially on Instagram. So if you're doing that challenge with me and with us, and you're not growing at the pace that you want, take a couple deep breaths. It takes a long time. You know, I didn't want to say long, like a kind of like, because I don't want you to think it's going to take 500 years. But it definitely takes a little bit longer to grow on Instagram, and you've got to be consistent. That's where I find some people, and that halfway rule comes, because some people get to that point where they're like, this is taking too long. This isn't working the way I want it to. But who knows, you might have that one post, that one live, that one story that's going to reach out to that one person that could change things for you. And I think sometimes too, the part that is the most important is when you're seeing the success on social media, your team is duplicating that success on social media, it creates momentum. Just like I was sharing with you guys, my team member who went live, it created momentum and excitement for her. I think she's gone live every day since then, because it's created this like excitement, right? And you think about, for example, think about the last person that you brought into your business in a three-way call. Most likely, they're bringing people into their business through three-way calls, right? So what duplicates is what you do or you don't do. And so that's what I find a lot of times is when people start doing something and they see it works immediately, they're like, okay, this is what I'm going to keep doing. And then they keep duplicating it, and people on your team duplicate it. People on your team watch, I think, more than we think we know. So if something, and I get it, we all go through things in life. So maybe you don't post for a couple days, whatever it might be. But if you haven't posted in a month, I see you. Your team sees you. You see you, which is the most important part, okay? get back on the horse. It's just like riding a bike. You just got to keep going through all of it. Okay. Sometimes too, you've got to just switch things up. Um, that's okay, Rachel. We all do it. Sometimes you just got to switch things up and create that momentum and that excitement for yourself again. And I have in here, you got to do something different if you want something different, because it's so true. When I decided I wanted to start going live, my business took a different direction because I decided I was going to do something different because I wanted something different. I wanted to recruit people who were different in a different way, right? So maybe it's if you haven't been showing up the way you want, switch it up, start doing something different. If it's, I'm going to start going live more because I don't know, I find that that's something different that works for me. Or if you're going to start making more posts about your business that have a call to action driven to them. So many people have a business that they're not sharing with anyone because they just are scared to share it. They don't know how, right? Maybe it's, I'm going to share more about my product and the stories that my product has along with it. If you want something different, you got to do something different. So maybe it's just the showing up consistently part. She's got a little method in here that I absolutely love. And I know we have another one that we use, the 3-2-1, but I'm going to copy and paste this and put this in for you guys, because if you're feeling like that, like you're in a little bit of a rut and you kind of don't know where to get started, she's got this 5-3-2. Okay. 5-3-2 method. So 5 reach outs a day, 5 new reach outs a day, 3 follow-ups with people inside of your funnel. So if you're doing the Trello with us, you've got people in your funnel, and 2 reach outs to team members, even if it's just to encourage them and just say, hey. I love doing that, especially because we have a pretty large team all over the country. It's always nice to just touch base with people, not necessarily when it has to do about business, right? You're just like, hey, how's it going? Now, what I would add to here is a 1, because I would say it's necessary to at least post on one of your social media platforms. So maybe I'll do a little 5-3-2-1 and get a post up for the day, whatever it might be, get something up for the day. I will say, put some intention into your posts. Sometimes when I'm scrolling social media, I see people make posts and it's just like, you can tell they threw it up there in a last minute effort. And I'm not saying like, oh, that's just so nah, that's not what I mean. But if you put intention into something and you say, you know what, I'm going to take an extra couple seconds. And I hate to say it again, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but this is why I go live, because it's less thinking for me. It's a lot easier for me to just be openly intentional and talk to you rather than me try to like word something, because I tend to, it's like Sunshine talked about last week. When I'm typing stuff out, I overthink the crap out of what I'm saying. My content, sometimes I'll be like, if you guys saw my notes, I have so many unfinished posts that I'm just like, I don't know yet. I don't know if I'm ready for it yet. Or I don't know if it's the right wording, right? Like we all do it. So don't worry. But when you put intention to what you're doing, it's going to come off so much, and it's going to reach the right people. Let social media exude your energy through the screen, whether it be through live, if you're not ready for that yet, or even through the posts. People can feel, like, have you ever read one of those posts where you get the goosebumps, or you saw a story, or you watched a live where you felt what was going on the other end of the screen, right? Most people are joining communities because it looks fun, because it looks like something they want to be a part of. Not because it looks like, maybe it is for some people, but not because it looks like it's another job or thing to add to their plate that they're not going to enjoy, right? Most people that I find that have a network marketing business have a 9-to-5 job. They've joined the network marketing business because it's something fun that they like to do on the side, that gives them enjoyment, that gives them community, that gives them maybe a product that they love, a couple extra bucks every month, like whatever it might be. There is a small amount of people that join it for business reasons. But even when I got started, for me, I was just like, you know what? This looks like fun. I don't have a lot of family or friends. So this looks like maybe I could create, a family here. And it turned into way more than that for me. So that's one thing I think about too, is sometimes when we get started in network marketing, and especially for a lot of people who've never worked a business on social media, we can't see, or they can't see what we see. They're not there yet. And that's okay. It's just because they haven't experienced it yet. We're taught to like look for jobs, not create opportunities. So sometimes I think too, when I tell people, this is what we do, we work on social media, they're like, no way, how do you do all that? You just have to take them back to the basics. This is where we got started, right? And network marketing is so incredible because you can meet so many people right here from your home. And even if you go out, right, you can even double your odds. If you're like Haas and you do both your social media and you're talking to people um, outside of social media, that's great. You're doubling the amount of people you talk to. And that's really what it is too. Like Jess said last week, this really is a contact sport. So I want to preface by saying, if you ever feel like there's days where you have to choose between building your content and reaching out, hear me, reach out, reach out. Don't worry about the post today. It's okay. And I'm telling you that because it is so much more important to have conversations with the people on your social media. And I know that obviously, you know, engagement and all that type of stuff on your posts is incredible. But direct message, even on Facebook and Instagram, the direct message conversations tells the algorithm a lot more about the genuine conversations you're having with people. So those people who are in their messenger all day having millions of conversations with people, they're probably switching up their algorithm real good. I don't know about you guys, but we went on this like spree of birthday reach outs lately, and we're just doing all types of different reach outs. Yes. And I had a total shift in my algorithm. Like the other day I was looking through my page and I was like, holy crap, I don't even know any of these people on my feed. Like it's just all new people, which is great. It gives me all new people to engage with. And, you know, I want to say this too, because Jess and I were laughing this weekend. There was a post about, has anybody been on Clubhouse lately, and kind of how fast that died out. Excuse me. So I was thinking that, you know, don't overwhelm yourself with social media. Stick to the platforms that you know you can show up best and where your clients are going to be. So if you make really good TikToks, but nobody's following you on there, use your TikToks on your Facebook or Instagram too, where you've got people that are actually can engage with it, right? I'm not telling you take away your joy, but I find a lot of people are hanging out on platforms where they're not really using it for business. So I really try, like for me, I love TikTok. I like to make videos on TikTok. I don't really use it for business. That's just me personally. So I take a lot of my videos and I use them in other places like Instagram and Facebook and my stories, so that I can have my fun, but also use it in the places where I show up. I know that's where the people that I'm looking for are, and the people that I can engage with are, for me personally. You know, in a perfect example, I was thinking of, for as far as your team and what you're thinking duplicates and how they watch you. I can't tell you guys how excited I get in the morning sometimes when I see our team doing like all these cool boomerangs. And I don't want the credit for it, but like we kind of all started it together and now everyone does it like every day of our product, right? That duplicates. That duplicated so fast because I'd say probably in the beginning of this year, a lot of our team wasn't really showing up on their stories. And I think we just didn't have a strategy. That's what's so important too. What's your strategy on social media? Are you just kind of like, I don't know, I get up and I post like me drinking water in the morning, like cheers. I don't think your stories necessarily have to have a strategy, but they start to become habitual. It's like the boomerang. It's habitual for our team now. When they use our stuff, they got to have a boomerang for it. So what's your strategy? If you're going live once a week, right? That's a strategy. I love to go live once a week. It helps me take away content for like 3 days when I go live once a week. So that's my strategy. Oh, I love you, Heidi. It's definitely, and you know, the changes that Heidi like is talking about, she's saying in the chat, how things can change for your social media. Just like I was saying, if you're having like your algorithm, it's too many people on your team or your company, start going through. And I think this is one of the things that a lot of people need to do in the Instagram challenge that maybe I will post after we finish the challenge, is it really is important to go through the people that you are, your friend, like I'm trying to say them together, but your friends and your followers, so that you get it on both aspects. If you're friends with a bunch of people you never intend to interact with, that's not helping your algorithm. So like a perfect example is when I go through like my birthday messages every day, if I see people who I don't intend on engaging with in business or personal, I unfriend them. You know, and if you want to know the difference, unfriending them is you will not see their stuff anymore at all. Unfollowing them is basically the same, but they're still your friend, which really makes no sense to me if you ask me. If you're going to unfollow them, you should probably unfriend them. But you can also snooze people. Snoozing people is kind of like the same thing. It snoozes them for 30 days off of your feed. I shared the other day too on Instagram, if you go to your followers, and this is why I do this about once a week, because Instagram, if you're doing that challenge with us, you've realized that Instagram following is like a roller coaster. Okay. It's a roller coaster of emotions. You're going to get 10 one day, then you're going to lose 20, then you're going to get 5, and then you're going to lose 8, and you're going to get 12, and you're going to lose 2. It's okay. It happens to everybody. And it's because there's lots of bots on there. There's lots of, especially if you're being consistent on the platform, you're going to see that because you're working with the platform and it's kind of like filtering people out for you. But what I shared the other day in the Instagram Grow Your Gram challenge, if you didn't do this, if you go to your page, your Instagram feed, and you click your following, so the people that you're following, you'll have this thing that comes up. You might not, but after a while you will. It says least interacted with. So I have 49 accounts that I've least interacted with that I'm following. And like the first one is Dairy Queen. Come on, Sydnee. I don't need to follow Dairy Queen. But sometimes if you go through this, right, you might see people that you're like, whoa, I didn't even know that they were still there. And what I'll do is I'm like, okay, I want to interact with this person. I'll go to their page and interact with them. But a perfect example, right, is this guy right here. When you click unfollow and you see that immediate blue that says follow, they're not even following you. So you're wasting your time. Okay. So if it is someone you want to engage with, what I'll do is I'll unfollow and then refollow them so they get a little notification. But most of these people are not following you back. Or it's a bot, or yes, Mary, it's celebrities, which there's nothing wrong with. Keep the people you like to watch on your Instagram. But you play with that stuff a little bit every here and there, once a week, maybe set a reminder on your phone and say, hey, play with algorithm. And go to your Facebook and go to your Instagram and just kind of shuffle through, delete a couple people. I know we're always talking about adding people too, but there is an audience of people that you already have available to you. So you just got to play with them a little bit and move them around a little bit. There are so many notes. There were a couple things. Okay. Heidi was sharing this yesterday, and I wanted to share this with you guys in case you didn't know, because I saw some people saying, wow, Facebook Lives do have filters. Okay, so if you are the person that doesn't like to go live because you don't like to see your face, you're still going to see your face, but you can put a filter on it. And what you do basically is when you go to the Facebook Live, I will preface by saying be careful. Some of them look a lot different when they're being watched, and you can kind of tell. But when you go live, now, if you click this little star next to it, it looks like a little wand down here. It's going to give you an option of a bunch. Oh, I was like, it wasn't working. It's going to give you an option of a bunch of filters that you can use. So if you're like not feeling yourself today or whatever, you have no reason that you can't go live, because now they've given you the filters from pretty much the same filters from the stories, which I absolutely love. So I wanted to share that because Heidi used one yesterday and it looked great, Heidi, just so you know.
Hey, about that too, Sydney, what the reason why I did that, not just because I was like all nasty and sweaty, was also because my kitchen is super bright.
Your kitchen's beautiful.
Oh, thanks. But like, it really helped kind of take that, like, I was like, oh damn, I need some eyebrows, but it really helped the brightness. And I felt like it looked a little bit more natural, actually.
Okay.
So that's why I did that too.
Yeah, I love that. And one thing I will say, that's a great point, Heidi, because one of the parts of the algorithm, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, I will just say this because I know that there's a lot of people doing IGTVs now too. The lighting of your lives will affect the views. Like, so if you're going live in the darkness of your car in the morning, that will affect the algorithm. They like to have like lighter, obviously more people are going to watch what they can see, right? But it does have an effect on the algorithm. So yeah, the lighting, try to just do, don't worry about it too much, but don't be like sitting in the dark and all we can see is like, hello. Thank you for sharing that, Heidi. I appreciate it. So there's a couple more things before 5 minutes. Okay, so one thing I was thinking in here, because I loved that the BS you're telling yourself chapter. There's so much, and I love that I'm ending on this, because I know that for social media, for people, it's all up here. Just like I was saying, don't think that just because I do TikTok videos that I don't overthink either. Like, I do the same stuff. I worry about the pimple on my chin. The other day I posted a picture and there was spinach in my tooth. I thought about deleting it, but I didn't want to, because then I'm like, so I get it. We all do it. There's BS we're telling ourselves in our heads. But one thing she said in this book, and Tracy Litt said it in her book, and y'all know I love that woman. And I changed this in my life when I heard it in Tracy Litt's book. But when I heard Romy say this again, I was like, this is the ultimate gold. Like, I want to get it tattooed on my arm, right? Change I can't to I won't. Whatever it might be. I can't go live on Sundays because it's family day. I won't go live on Sundays because it's family day. You have to find time and make the time. If your DMOs for your business, to help your business grow, to help your family grow, right, is doing these 5 things, then you do those 5 things first thing in the morning. If you've got to sacrifice an hour of Netflix the night before, okay, if whatever it is, if it's Good Girls, I love that show. You sacrifice that so that you can get up on time to get what you need to get done, so you're not feeling overwhelmed or you're not getting it done at all, right? Change I can to I won't. And I think about this all the time when I talk to some people about certain things. And maybe, I'm not talking Netflix, I just said I love it, but does Netflix outweigh your desire to grow? You know what I mean? Give it to yourself as a reward. When you do all your stuff for your social media today, you get your post up, you get your reel up on Instagram, you've done your reach outs, you've done your 5, 3, 2, 1, all the things, then go watch your show on Netflix. But and I feel like you're gonna feel better because you're like, you know what, I got everything done. I'm gonna actually chill for a second, instead of being like, because I don't know about you guys, if I sit down and I haven't done some things, I start feeling a little guilty. Like, I'm like, ooh, crap. Like, I was rushing home last night to go live because we had a team challenge and we were at a family barbecue. And I was like, fam, gotta go because I gotta go live. And my energy is depleting as the time gets later and later. So change I can't to I won't, and see how that just makes you feel about your business. As entrepreneurs and as network marketers, I will tell you guys, there's no one that's going to push you harder than you. That's the truth. We don't have bosses in this business. You might have an upline, but they're not your boss. This is your business. No one's going to wake you up in the morning and say, hey, you got to get over your damn self and get this together, quit overthinking and do the reach outs. I do that to myself, actually, though. I try to be like, hey, sit, wake up, get over yourself. But this is all about you and what you can do. So try not to overthink what you're doing. Try to just show up. I know present over perfect is the best thing I can tell you, because as you start showing up more present too, you're going to stop overthinking things, because you're going to be like, oh, I showed up the other day with no makeup, no filter. Who cares? Right? Who cares? I went live and I sold a trial. So no one was paying attention to the pimple or the spinach in your tooth, whatever it might be. Right? You can do it. And I just wanted to say, stop the BS train in your mind, because there are so many people that are not as qualified as you, but they're showing up present over perfect and killing it because you're overthinking it, or because you're worried about whatever it might be. Share everything on social media. Share it all. Share the good, the bad, the ugly. It's one thing Jess and I were talking about the other day too. I have a couple people in another network marketing company that I'm friends with, and she shared about how she lost rank last month. And I loved that. I loved the honesty of that, because not enough people are honest about how this business can be a little bit difficult sometimes for people, but the reward, worth it tenfold. So just remember, tacos fall apart sometimes and we still love them. Okay. So you can too. That being said, I'm going to stop.